Welcome to weekend 4. That's right, there's been 4 of these so far. So this weekend, what are we going to try and do? The big things here this weekend, we're going to drop the passenger side, driver side control arm and get the passenger side, driver side drive shafts out. That's the big goal for the weekend. How far we're going to get, who knows? They look like they might be stuck on there pretty good, so this should be interesting. Did some research trying to decide whether or not I was going to actually take the transmission off before I pulled the engine. Everybody says leave it on there and take it off later. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try and get some different videos this time, maybe a little bit more, I don't want to call them instructional because I have no idea what I'm doing, but some videos that actually show a little bit more of how I'm working in here, slightly less time-lapse, but certainly there'll be time-lapse as well. So wish me luck, week 4, here we go. So the video of me doing the driver's side didn't work out well, so I decided to get some for the passenger side. This is the space I'm working in. Not a lot of space. I can't wait someday to get a much bigger garage. And right off the bat, we've run into a problem. My great impact driver here is a little too big to fit into the tight spot that I need in order to pull off this bolt. So we're going to have to set the impact driver aside. And I go ahead and use my impact wrench, which works really well, but I bought really cheap batteries for this thing, and it doesn't seem to have enough power. They don't work quite right. So I'm going to have to get the real thing in order to make this impact wrench work better later on. So it looks like it's just going to be pure muscle, and we'll see if we can get these things off with just a set of regular wrenches. Wait a minute, is that a hammer? Alright, so here's the deal. I couldn't get my impact driver in there, so I wanted to try and break this bolt free, and I absolutely could not do it. So first thing I thought of is, alright, let me just get a wrench on there and then hit it with a hammer a bunch of times. That didn't work real well. So then I used this trick, and let me explain how this works. Again. Alright, so you may have seen me do this under there. And this was not something that I ever knew you could do, but I was watching a YouTube video and saw another mechanic do this and thought, wow, that is really, really cool. So you may have noticed that under there I was trying to get one of the bolts out and I could not get enough leverage, sliding all over the place and just could not break it free. So there's a way. I was using this, which is great. If you don't have these, go get them. These happen to be Husky brand, but you know, whatever you get, you know, they can basically ratchet back and forth so you can get the right angle on them and then lock them in place. But once I was on it, I just could not get enough leverage to pull down. So what I did is actually interlock two sets of, or two wrenches. And I can never get it right on the first or second try, quite honestly. But basically, you can interlock them, and then this basically extends your leverage. You can kind of move it around a little bit off to one side, off to the other side, like this, and sometimes like this, depending on what kind of angle you need. But this gives you that extra leverage you need. So I had a friend ask how I'm trying to keep track of all these bolts and nuts that I'm pulling off. I have no idea if this is going to work. We'll find out when I go to put this thing back together. But here's the general plan. Every time I pull off a set of bolts, I either put it back into the hole where it came out of so that I don't lose it, or Ziploc baggies are your friends. So here's two bolts that I've labeled. And then I have this thing, which I'm going to quickly, I think, run out of spots for. But if you take a look, I'm breaking up the different areas into weekends, and quite frankly, the videos that I'm doing, I'm hoping are going to help me figure out, based on the descriptions that I put on the baggies and then what weekend I say that I put them in there. I'm hoping that they're going to help me figure out exactly where they go when we put this all back together. So that's the plan. We'll see what actually happens, but it seems to make sense. All right, so it's the next day. Yesterday went so well, pulling the two front drive axles, that I'm going to go through and try and get all the rest of the little pieces off, which means next weekend we'll be hooking this thing up to a crane and hopefully lifting the engine out. So we'll see how things go. Just like I said, a lot of little things, mostly be a time lapse. Got a little bit of a late start today only because a geek's garage was very cold and needed to heat it up, and I ran out of propane. So we're all good now. Cue the time lapse. Okay, so the engine is free. In fact, you can actually take and shake it on the 2 remaining engine mounts. It is completely free. Big shout out to my wife for helping me get the rear bolt out. Whoever designed that, I'd love to have words with them. But we got the rear mounting bolt out, front mounting bolt out. All of the rest, everything that's on here, has now been completely, to the best of my ability and whatnot, has been completely disconnected. So, we're looking over all the notes and making sure that I really did get everything. Next weekend, hopefully we're hooking this thing up to a lift and pulling the engine out. So, see ya. Don't forget, if you are enjoying these videos, make sure you click the like button and subscribe so that I keep doing these things in the future.